Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar, and I almost fell asleep waiting to do this webinar. I don't know about you guys, but it's slow out there. It's actually a lot slower than I thought it was going to be today, especially with the news and that came out over the weekend. Specifically, President Trump kind of acknowledged that he lost, and I thought that was going to produce a little bit bigger. Even though he tried to walk all that back, I thought it would have produced a little bit of a move. And then with the news today with the vaccines, I thought we'd get a bigger move as well. But what we're doing is we had spiked up, and you can see we're pretty much at the same spot we were at last night in Asian trade. I remember looking at in Asia, and we were trading at 36.12, 36.15 in the S&P, and we're trading at that level right now. I think a lot of people chase the market higher this morning. They might get caught offsides by the end of the day. But the one thing that we have to acknowledge is we are above 3,600. Now, an observation I want to bring to you guys is that, the vaccine news came out. Okay, and I'm gonna make a couple key points here. The vaccine news came out, and automatically stocks went higher. The S&P, Nasdaq went down. All right. Then we saw the NASDAQ and the S&P recover, okay? So what that means to me is now that the NASDAQ's recovered and the S&P both recovered a little bit, and they're kind of moving together, that to me tells me that a lot of this vaccine news is in the market now. Now we're getting very limited effect based on, Pfizer's vaccines, Moderna's. So whatever we get moving forward, in my opinion, is probably going to be less impactful. Now that's important because now what we're probably going to be looking at is how is COVID affecting the real economy moving forward? Because I know virus new infections are increasing not only in Europe, but around the world as well, here in the United States. If it continues at this pace, I think it's going to start to impact economic activity. And that might actually have a negative effect on equities. Because, it's going to be, 6 months before everybody's vaccinated? Well, I won't say everybody's vaccinated, probably like 6 to 8 months, like next summer. Probably 6, 7, 8 months from now, by the time everybody's got their vaccinations and it's readily available, there's a lot of things that could happen between now and then. We could continue to see the virus really, ravage not only the U.S. but everywhere else, and that's gonna clamp down on economic activity. Do I think that we're going into lockdowns? Like, not, only essential businesses open? Probably not, maybe in some areas, but we all know how to live with the virus for the most part. But to me, it does mean that economic activity could slow down, because if the virus counts continue high, and I made this point on the Face webinar, if virus counts continue to go higher, then what's going to happen is you're going to get people going, yeah, I don't know if I really want to go out to dinner with, the hospitals filled up, or, my kids are doing, my kids were going to go do this event, but I think I'm going to hold them back. Or, that type of mentality might start to hit the markets, and it'll hit the economy, which then in turn might hit the markets a little bit. Does that make me bearish right now? No, but I think we have to be a little careful, especially, if you think about it, we're at the megaphone top here in the S&P. Now, currencies like the Aussie acting really well today. We are up against resistance. I do believe that the 73.20 to 73.40 is good resistance here for the Aussie. You can see the dollar Canadian is still holding, in my opinion, above some pretty key support. I thought 130.50 was going to be really good support today. We might still be flagging here. So, if you're bearish, keep that in mind. The dollar Mexican peso had a nice bounce, and we're not making new lows. The Kiwi, we are nearing those highs. And while we're above 68 cents, you got to stay bullish. But if we don't make new highs here, I think bulls need to be a little careful, because we might just be consolidating, which means that if you're bullish, you probably want to be bullish at the bottom here of the wedge, which would be 68 and a quarter, versus being bullish while you're up here, if that makes any sense. But overall, the FX market's been pretty quiet, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised that not just the FX market, but the markets in general have been pretty benign. But the move in gold today was pretty big, and we bounced right back. So, we pushed down, what is that, 30 points, and then we bounced right back up and regained just reverted back to the mean. So, I'm trying not to be too directional at this point with my trades, but I think we have to acknowledge the fact that the markets are, they're looking at the virus news saying, okay, what's next? I know that we can see the daylight now. We could see the light at the end of the tunnel, regarding COVID. It may be 4 to 6 months away, but we're starting to see the light. Okay. A couple of comments. Amira says the IWM is up 2%. The small caps. Yeah. The small mid caps. The Russell or the IWM, it is up a little bit. Let's take a look at the IWM here. Yeah, I mean, we're still, plowing into highs. That's good. That's good. I do think that tech is still trading a little heavy, because look, if we can see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel, you've got to rotate out of those tech stocks into, maybe some cyclical stocks that will end up doing a little bit better. TJ asked, do you feel further QE will come in coming months, and do you feel that it's being priced in? I don't know. First of all, I'm going to say no, as far as that's being priced in just yet. I think what the Fed is looking for is seeing how the fiscal response is going to be with the next administration or the current administration. If Trump wins a second term, which doesn't seem likely, but it's whoever has the second term. I think we're going to be looking towards fiscal support. If fiscal support seems a little underwhelming, then the market's going to start looking at the Fed and saying, is the Fed going to offer anything new? Tomorrow there is Fed Chairman Powell adds event to public schedule for Tuesday at 1 p.m. Fed's Powell to speak with Q&A with Bay Area Council. So Powell is going to be speaking. So maybe we'll get a little bit better flavor, TJ, as far as what to expect from the Fed. I think Powell is really in wait and see mode, and because right now the economic data is not bad. It's actually pretty. It's actually gotten better than most people were. It was better than most people had expected, and so that's good. So I don't think the Fed's in any hurry to act right now. But if economic data starts to deteriorate, or we start to see, or we see that the fiscal policy response is, like I said, underwhelming, at that point in time, we're going to start looking for clues from the Federal Reserve to see what type of accommodation they're going to be offering. That would be my opinion. Okay, and let's see. As far as where we're at with all the currencies, I mean, everything is still, just kind of status quo. Oh, I will say this though. I did pick up the dollar Canadian a little bit earlier, and I have to say that it's holding up really, really well. If we make it above like 131.10, that to me would be, hey, we got a flag pattern. Oops, that I didn't want to do. Hold on, grab the wrong thing. Dang it. Don't irritate me. Yeah. So we might get a move back above 133. That's something that I think we need to keep an eye on. All right. All right, guys and gals, I want to thank you all for your support. I wish it was a more exciting day. I really thought we were going to have more of a volatile day. I'm sitting here kind of twiddling my thumbs, hoping for the markets to start to move. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. I'll see you on the Face webinar tomorrow morning. And again, thank you guys all for your support and being ForexAnalytix customers. I'll talk to you soon. See you guys.